Hi, I'm Andrea from Pink Cake Princess. I'm going to show you how to make this Chinese takeaway box cupcake with a miniature food. This is a Krazy Kool collaboration with Laura from Krazy Kool Cakes and Designs. You can check out her Chinese fortune cookie tutorial at the end of this video. There'll be a clickable link and you can see how she creates this really cute Chinese fortune cookie cupcake topper. Okay, if you do like my work, don't forget to click that subscribe button too, and you'll be updated every time we upload new videos. Okay, to start off with, I'm just going to ice my regular size cupcake. You can check out the vanilla cupcakes recipe on my channel. And all I'm doing here is creating a semi-domed finish ready for my icing. Okay, I'm going to roll out some fondant icing. Now, there's a list of materials in the video description and also more information on fondant icing if you're new to it. Okay, I'm rolling out some red fondant and using my circle cutter to cut out a disc of fondant. And I'm just going to lift it up with my palette knife and then I'm going to smooth it over on top of my cupcake with my fingers. Okay, next I'm going to be using some white fondant. I'm just going to ball it up in my hand. I'm using some corn flour in the bag to dust as well so that it doesn't stick to my surfaces. So I've tapered one end of the ball and then I'm using my palette knife to basically cut out a Chinese box shape, which is literally like a cube, but it's a little bit tapered on one end. Okay, now just smoothing over with my fingers there and then just cutting the excess off at the top. And then smoothing over with my fingers, just careful not to dent in your corners and edges. Okay, so now back to my pointy crafts knife. I'm using the flatter end, not the sharp end, to create some indents here. You can also use a ruler if you don't have this. So I'm just creating what the box actually looks like. Just this little pattern here. If you actually look at a Chinese takeaway box, this is what it looks like. And there you have it. I'm just smoothing it over so that it doesn't, so that it can keep its shape. Okay, now rolling out some more white fondant, dusting it so that it doesn't stick to my hands or my tools, and using my palette knife to cut out some triangles. Now, if you have a roller cutter, you can use a roller cutter to do this as well if you're not comfortable cutting with a palette knife. It is easier with a roller cutter if you have a roller cutter like a pizza cutter. Okay, so now just cutting it off into two squares and then trimming them into little triangles. And I'm just going to check on the little takeaway box. It is a little bit big, so I'm just going to trim the excess off there. I'm going to do the same to all four. And then once I do that, I'm just going to trim off the pointy end. Because if you look at the shape of the box, that's what it looks like. The ends are actually cut, well, the ends are trimmed off. It's not exactly a triangle. Okay, now I'm using a little bit of water just to assemble it. You can use edible glue. I'm just showing you a way for people who don't have edible glue on hand. Okay, I'm using my little toothpick to also help me get all the pieces into place so that I don't squash it with my big fingers. And then I'm just going to let it set for about 10 minutes. You don't want to handle the top bit too much because they're still fragile. Okay, now onto some red food dye. I'm just going to use a little toothpick just to paint on a little detail onto the takeaway box to make it look more like a Chinese takeaway box. Okay, I think this is a little pagoda, whatever they call it. Yeah. Just to make it look like the Chinese box that you see in a lot of the Chinese takeaway places. Okay, you can also use a red edible marker to do this. This is just what I had on hand, the food dye. And that's it, I did both sides. And now onto some yellow fondant. I'm just rolling it on my mat. I'm just trying to do it fairly thinly and just going over it so that I can create thin little strands. You can use an extruder to do this if you have an extruder, but I'm just showing you this because a lot of people may not have an extruder on hand. Okay, so I'm just going to trim off little bits and then I'm just going to kind of cluster it all together because I'm trying to make tiny little noodles. And then I'm just going to place it on top of the little takeaway box and I'm going to use my little toothpick to help put it all together. And then just kind of squashing it down just slightly without totally flattening it. Okay, and just filling in all the little gaps. And that's it so far. Okay, now onto some more little details. Now this is just a little bit of green fondant, a little bit of orange fondant, and a little bit of red fondant, just to, I guess, create some of the textures of a takeaway noodle box. Well, takeaway noodle, I guess the orange would be some carrots, and the green would be some peas, and the red could be some capsicums. I guess it's a vegetarian noodle because there is no brown in it. I didn't end up putting any of the brown in it, so there's no meat in this noodle. Okay, now on to putting it into the noodles. I've just used a little bit of water, and then I'm just using my little toothpick just to kind of push them into place, because they are quite small and they can get a little bit fiddly, so it's easy to use the toothpick to maneuver them around in there. And that's it. That's your little takeaway box basically done. And if you are liking this video so far, don't forget to click that thumbs up icon down below. It only takes a second to let me know that you like my video. Okay, now onto the chopsticks. I'm using some brown fondant. I'm just dusting it again so that it doesn't stick. I'm just rolling it out, using my palette knife to cut out two sections, well, rolling one end so that it's tapered in to look more like a chopstick. And there you have it, that's the first chopstick done. And onto the second one, just tapering in one end, just checking it with the other chopstick there to have the same length. And it is quite soft right now, so you just put it aside so that it sets for about 10 minutes before you handle it again. And now onto my little teacup. I'm dusting it there with some corn flour again, and I'm using a thick straw to cut out my little cup, and I'm using a smaller straw. I'm just going to cut out the middle section, just pushing it through there and using the bottom of my brush just to keep it in place while I kind of like fold in the bottom section over so that it closes the hole at the bottom. Okay, and then just shaping it so it looks like a cup, and then just flattening it down a little bit because I did stretch it out while I was working on it earlier. Okay, now that's your little teacup done. I'm just going to put that aside to set. And now I'm going to work on my little plate. All I'm using here is a circle cutter. It's about 3 centimeters across, and then a smaller circle cutter 2 centimeters across to put an indent in. And I'm going to set that aside as my plate. And now I'm going to make some, well, what would you call these? Egg rolls, spring rolls, or mango pancakes. Whatever they are, they're really, really cute. And all you're doing here is cutting out a little square and then just rolling it like you would a little spring roll. Okay, and then just rolling it up. And it was sticky enough, I didn't have to use any water. And that's it, that's your little roll. Let me know what you guys call these. We call them spring rolls, but I think you guys call them egg rolls in the States. Okay, now just one last little detail. I'm just putting a little bit of brown fondant into my cup because I wanted to fill it up with some tea. That's it, just gently pressing it in. And I'm going to assemble the little spring rolls or egg rolls or mango pancake rolls onto the plate, sticking them on with a little bit of water. And that's all your little miniature food done. And it's just assembling onto the cupcake now, using a little bit of water. Again, you can use edible glue, which works better than water, but I'm just showing you how you can use it without edible glue if you don't have it. Okay, and that's it. That's my Chinese takeaway box cupcake with the miniature food. Hope you guys like it, and if you do like my work, don't forget to click that subscribe button, like, share and comment, and don't forget to check out Crazy Cool Cakes Design, Laura's Chinese fortune cookie cupcake topper. She's done a fantastic job, and just click on that link there if you want to go and see her tutorial and check out her channel. She's fantastic. Bye for now, you guys, take care.